Their emails were landing in spam. The sending setup was completely cooked. There's no way any of their copy would have worked because I was looking at a setup where they had multiple domains, like a couple, right? They had 15 email addresses and they were all sending from their subdomain, which is terrible if you've ever watched any of my other videos. So the entire thing was super risky because that basically meant using their subdomain, meaning email.airpay.com, right? Something like that. That would basically put their domain reputation at risk, meaning basic emails like sending invoices to customers, etc., would have landed in spam if they kept doing that for the remainder of their campaigns, right? So we stopped doing that immediately, but I'm going to get to the solution that we've implemented later. Their copy was not converting, obviously, but because there's no way. They weren't landing in the primary inbox. They were only landing in spam, meaning their response rate, not even a positive response rate, their response rate was 0.02%. So basically no one responded. They didn't land in primary at all, right? And on top of everything, volume was way too little. Like we had 15 inboxes. Even if you push them beyond their limits with 50 emails a day per inbox, you would at max in that case get 750? Yeah, 750 emails per day, which is nothing, right? So even if you landed in the primary inbox, you didn't land in spam, that's just very limited daily volume. And in general, their infrastructure was super fragile because they were also using a newsletter tool like MailChimp, for example. I don't remember if it was MailChimp or Chimp or something else, but they were using a newsletter tool to send out these cold emails, which also goes against terms of service with something like MailChimp, right? Yes. No warm-ups. I think they had warm-ups in a third-party tool. Everything was mixed up. Like it was horrible, basically. Yes. And they only had a list of personal Gmail addresses from these dental practices that they were targeting for their software, right? Which basically only had their email address. They didn't have any first names. They didn't have any addresses. They didn't have anything about them. I literally got a list of 29,000 unverified personal Gmail addresses, which I had to target. And we didn't even know whether they were actual dentists. That was the situation. So they've tried sending from their main domain, using this newsletter software for cold email, writing super broad copy that was also way too long. They included images in there, links, etc. And that very unspecific list, right? So that was the struggle. They basically didn't get any results. So we came in. And in the beginning, we used SmartLead. In general, we use that as an agency. We switched away from SmartLead now because especially we had also problems with the AirPay campaigns. But we switched away from that to a private cold email infrastructure. And this is the solution that we've implemented since, I think, May of this year. And that has really pushed the results. So now we're using a private cold email infrastructure with Email Bison, which you need to apply for, and you don't get in there if you don't know what you're doing, basically. We know what we're doing, so we got access to it, and we built dedicated sending domains, warmed inboxes, super strict sending limits, and daily health checks to make sure that their infrastructure is healthy, right? Because if it's healthy, we can actually land in the primary inbox. If it's unhealthy, we'll land in spam and no one will see the offer. Even if the offer is perfect, no one will ever see it. So that is amazing. And then on top of that, we've scraped the entire US for dental practices. And we've verified using AI that they're all dental practices. Amazing. That is super nice. On top of that, that's just like a nuanced thing. We've also separated the campaigns into different types of email addresses, so we can see which one of these connects best. So we send only to Gmail addresses, only to Outlook addresses, only to addresses with spam filters behind them, right? Like Proofpoint, Barracuda, etc. Little technical, but we did that just to see like which of these campaigns performs best. Because if Gmail outperforms the other ones by a lot, right? In terms of response rates, that basically means that the other ones are marking our emails as spam. So if we keep emailing them, we'll just ruin our reputation. So what we did was we pushed away those ones and we focused on Gmail inboxes only. And that's what we've been doing. And that in itself has improved response rates to the roof, like easily tripled just because of that.